In 2025, the wave of K-pop nostalgia seems to have reached a new high as some iconic second and third generation groups seem to be retaking the stage as they are taking over this year's K-pop news. K-pop fans love to talk about the good old days and the iconic acts that shaped an entire industry, but the unfortunate passage of time and internal affairs have prevented many of them from staying active to this day. However, it seems like things are starting to look up as nostalgia has been hitting an all-time high these past few years, and many iconic groups seem to be making some sort of return one way or another. Since last year, the scene has been packed with iconic appearances, and things are clearly continuing into 2025 like never before, which is why many fans are already considering this period as the great return of second and third generation groups. At the heart of this powerful resurgence are two legendary girl groups, 21 and Kara. Once icons of the second generation of K-pop, these groups are now reclaiming their spotlight with major comebacks that have fans, both longtime and new, buzzing with excitement as this isn't just a reunion, but a tribute to what some may call the golden era of K-pop. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on these iconic groups' every move, and make sure to tell us your most anticipated return in the comments below. 21 have especially staged one of the most talked about reunions of the decade. After years of silence following their unofficial disbandment, the group shocked fans in 2024 when they announced a full group comeback tour under their former label, YG Entertainment. The announcement alone sent shockwaves through social media, and by October, the group officially kicked off their Welcome Back World Tour in celebration of their 15th anniversary, performing across major Asian cities such as Tokyo, Hong Kong, Manila, and Jakarta. Each stop saw sold-out crowds, which showed as clear proof that 21's global fan base never actually left. The demand was so overwhelming that the group extended their tour with encore concerts in Seoul, holding two massive shows at the KSPO Dome in April 2025, which tripled the size of their original venue back in October. And not only that, but their first end-of-year music show in nearly a decade racked up over 6.4 million views on YouTube within 2 weeks, again proving that this isn't just nostalgia at work, but that there's real demand to see the return of this once dominating group. At the same time, Kara, another second-gen powerhouse, has also reignited its legacy. The group initially started gaining footing in 2024 with a July comeback single, which was then followed by a successful Japan tour in late 2024, their first in 9 years. The group quickly followed up their returning success with the announcement of their 6th Japan tour, Karasia Magical World. Set to begin in July of this year, the tour will bring them to major venues in Yokohama and Kobe for a series of highly anticipated performances, which will no doubt fill the stadiums. For fans of Kara, who rose to stardom in the late 2000s, their comeback marks a lot more than just some concerts, as many feel like they are currently proving the type of relevance they are able to have, even all these years later. Many fans even pointed out that they were actually the first Korean girl group ever to hold and even sell out a concert at the Tokyo Dome, and that type of impact clearly never goes away. When it comes to boy groups, second gen also seems to be dominating the headlines as Big Bang, one of K-pop's most influential groups, re-emerged in a major way last November with the release of Home Sweet Home. The track was led by G-Dragon and featured fellow members Taeyang and Daesung, which actually marked their first collaboration in over 2 years, and their live performance at the 2024 Mama Awards only served to bring more attention to Big Bang's presence in K-pop. Because of these new appearances, many rumors are now going around that we may be seeing more of them going forward now that the first step has officially been taken. Seeing the return of groups like Kara and 21, many fans seem to have gotten their hopes up for a similar story. In fact, many believe Big Bang might be teasing something after G-Dragon's opening concert in Seoul featured an unexpected reunion, with fellow members Daesung and Taeyang joining him on stage during the show's encore. And to make things even more emotional, fans also noticed that Top's voice could be heard on the backtrack while G-Dragon was singing his part of Last Dance. Meanwhile, Super Junior, another pillar of second-gen K-pop, has been celebrating their 20th anniversary this year in front of the cameras. In March 2025, the group launched a new variety show titled Woke Up and It's Super TV, where they got to showcase their still chaotic chemistry across 10 episodes. Adding to the group's celebrations, Kyuhyun, one of the group's main vocalists, wrapped up his Colors Asia tour in April, marking his 10th year as a solo artist. The tour featured his biggest hits and OST favorites, which led to a grand finale in Manila where fans were treated to ballads, dance performances, and even a throwback with the group's iconic Sorry Sorry. But while second-gen stars are basking in their spotlight this year, the third generation isn't far behind, as some just as iconic names have been sparking their own headlines this year. For one, fans of G-Friend were overjoyed when the group reunited to mark their 10th debut anniversary with a special album, Season of Memories. However, not only did fans get the long-awaited album release on January 13th, but even better things followed as the group had announced an Asian tour, which started with a concert in Seoul on January 17th. Despite officially disbanding in 2021, the group's 6 members reunited with full strength, proving that their friendship and connection with fans remain as strong as ever, as they claimed it was their own determination that made it happen. Iconic groups like GOT7 and EXO, who haven't necessarily gone anywhere but have held some serious breaks, have also decided to make their presence felt this year as they are teasing long-awaited returns that fans have been craving for years. While both groups have seen their members flourish individually, 2025 has been filled with anticipation and emotional updates about full group activities. GOT7 actually kicked off the year with a major moment as they released their EP Winter Heptagon on January 20th. The record, which arrived just in time to mark the group's 11th debut anniversary, holds extra weight as it's their first release under a new partnership with Kakao Entertainment, already signaling a whole new era for the group. The comeback came after a 3-year group hiatus following their self-titled EP GOT7 in 2022, which was released independently after the members officially left JYP Entertainment. Winter Heptagon not only showed fans' strength as a group, but also served as a symbolic statement that GOT7 is far from done. Their ability to regroup after years of individual success also just goes to show their strong bond and commitment to their fan base. And while the group has not announced a tour yet, many believe this EP is the beginning of more consistent group activity, as fans are anticipating even more news to come out this year. And as the K-pop world keeps celebrating the return of beloved acts from past generations, 2 of the genre's most dominant forces, BTS and Blackpink, are also gearing up for long-awaited comebacks. These 2 powerhouse groups, often credited with bringing K-pop to the global mainstream, are preparing to re-enter the spotlight, and their presence could truly redefine the scale of K-pop activity in 2025. Blackpink is officially slated to return in July 2025 after a 2-year hiatus focusing on individual activities. Fans were over the moon when YG officially announced that the group is preparing not only a new album, but also a massive world tour spanning Asia, Europe, and the Americas. All eyes seem to have been on the Blackpink members all year now, especially after they each grew their individual fan bases over the course of the group's hiatus, with successful track and album releases, and even blossoming acting careers. And it seems like their growth as individuals has only heightened the anticipation for their return as a group, with YG dedicating a specialized project team to Blackpink's comeback. It's clear the company intends to make this return one of the biggest K-pop events of the year, which would only add to how high-profile this year is turning out to be. However, what could truly blow things out of the water would be BTS's upcoming reunion in the latter half of 2025. All 7 members will have completed their mandatory military service by July, with Jimin and Jungkook being the last to be discharged. Though fans are hopeful for a quick comeback, HYBE's CEO has emphasized that the group will take their time to properly plan their return, as their next steps won't just be about releasing music. Considering how long-awaited this moment has been, it's no surprise that every second will go to ensuring a comeback worthy of the legacy they've built. At the moment, not much is known regarding what the group's actual plans for a reunion are. However, fans are sure that it's going to be an incredible end to the year. To some, it might even be the ideal situation to wrap up this intense year, full of nostalgic returns, with one of the industry's most influential groups, even if that comes with no musical release. However, for others, even just the thought of BTS and Blackpink's combined return could overshadow all other events this year. And while there's no competition on who can make the greatest return, it can't be denied that the sheer scale of their global fan bases, commercial power, and cultural impact often means their comebacks are not just about the music. While this year might be an incredibly important step into bringing some beloved acts back into the spotlight, many are therefore fearing that these important milestones could end up being forgotten or thrown aside now that BTS and Blackpink have announced their own returns. Although it's great to see so many acts back on the scene, it can also be questioned whether or not this could have been an intentional move from some companies, as the promised return of groups like BTS and Blackpink would make a perfect wave for other older groups to ride. BTS, especially having their reunion at the very end of the year, ultimately does leave a lot of room for other groups to have the full attention of fans the rest of the year. At the end of the day, having everyone come back in 2025 gradually with a grand finale might actually be the best course of action, as fans are kept happy from start to end, without anyone actually overshadowing another group.